April is Child Prevention Awareness Month. Every day of this month, I'll be presenting you with a case of a child who lost their life to child abuse, or child exploitation. Today, April 2nd, we are going to talk about the story of Neziah Harris. Neziah Harris was 13 years old. She lived in Detroit with her grandmother, who gained custody of her at a young age because her mom was deemed unfit. Her 16-year-old brother also lived with them, and her aunt as well, with her 5 kids. Neziah's aunt had a boyfriend. It was an on and off boyfriend. They had children together, but he also had 13 kids outside of the kids that they had together, as well as some of those kids were conceived when the two of them were in a committed relationship. Her aunt knew that he was a womanizer, that he dated different women, and so she decided she didn't want to be in a relationship with him anymore, but she still wanted to mess around with him. A lot of those kids were conceived when the two were still in a relationship and he was messing around with other women. The aunt's boyfriend was a co-owner of a mechanic shop where he would often have his daughter as well as Neziah Harris come and work there just to get a little allowance. A little backstory on the boyfriend. He was convicted and listed on the sexual offenders list because there was evidence that he had been involved with children, and this was prior to him dating Neziah's aunt. So she was aware that this man was a predator, and she had kids with him and had him around her other nieces and other family members willingly. Fast forward to January of 2024, Neziah Harris got off of her school bus per usual. Only thing is, she did not return home and no one ever saw or heard from her ever again. Once Neziah did not return home, her grandmother reported her missing. Not a few hours later, not anything close to fast enough, but until the very next day, she reported that Neziah was missing. Neziah's grandmother went to the school and basically reported her missing there, but the case of her being missing wasn't actually sent to the police or given to the police until the school decided to do so. Neziah Harris' iPad was pinged near Jarvis's phone, basically meaning that they were pinged in the same location. And so when the police found this information out, they brought him in for questioning, and he basically said that he hadn't seen her since December. But they knew that that was a lie because they had the pinging, which basically puts them in the same place, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, he is a co-owner of the mechanic shop, and the co-owner, who also is his cousin, testified later on the stand that Neziah Harris did come up to the shop. This picture that everyone has been seeing everywhere, this picture was the last picture that she ever took on that school's iPad. And that's why it's so infamous. Here is also a clip of Neziah's step-uncle's sister basically testifying, saying that the day when she passed, when Neziah passed, that is, that she was at that body shop to get some service done in her car, and she saw a little girl and she asked Jarvis about her. Roll the clip.
The time that I was there, I kept seeing a little girl get in and out of his truck, going to the gas station and going back.
In April of 2025, I believe it's April of 2025 or either 2024. I've been seeing multiple different things. However, in April of either of those years, the step uncle decided that he did not want to go to trial, and he pled guilty. And he was sentenced to 25 to 50 years. For a second, it was just like 25 to 50 years. He should have gotten life without parole, considering the fact that he has done this multiple times and it doesn't seem like he has any intention to stop. But then, I don't know if you want to call this great news or not. A few days ago, in 2026, I'm not going to say his name. No. In 2026, he was found in his cell, unalived. Very immature of me. Once he was taken to the hospital, he was not able to be revived. They did all they could and basically called his sister to let her know that her brother was no longer on this earth, and they deemed it a suicide. Now, I'm not one to say that I'm happy that he is dead, so I'm gonna let you say it. So, R.I.P. Ziyah Harris. Unfortunately, her body was never found. He never told us where he buried her or anything. So we don't know. I hope she rests in peace.